Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, this episode was actually pretty interesting. I'm glad that they got back the other Nicholas. And, yeah, I think your name is Jay Carly. I know I'm always mispronouncing people's names wrong. But, yeah, they didn't even sit there and say what they usually say whenever. Why is it so damn loud for? That's good. They didn't even say what they usually say, which is like today's role of Nicholas Castdown will be played by yada yada yada. It was just like Nicholas. I'm like, the hell are you talking? Oh, you mean him? So it was a little off. I could have definitely did without the whole Sean and Alexis scene. I just felt like, okay, cool, you're brainstorming, and you kind of came to the conclusion that Sean's investigation and Curtis' investigation are parallel. Okay, cool. So we're brainstorming about this whole Crichton Clark thing, Drew Kane, talking about Jordan for a little bit. That's great. So, like, that's pretty much about it. Okay. Carly is on the warpath. And I feel sorry for anyone that gets in her way. After she storms out, talking to Jason, is like, whatever, I'm not gonna burn her life down to the ground because she'll play victim X, Y, and Z. She storms out. She comes over Jax's place, and yep, Jax is getting smoked too. And you know what? Jax get on my nerves every now and then. But I'm gonna be honest, and I know that may be the only person, I don't think I'm the only person, but one of the very few people that's actually going to defend Jax in this scene. I mean, she came at Jax like, oh, well, you knew, and yada yada yada, why didn't you say anything? And it was like, yo, he had a theory that, he was in Nixon Falls, and even when he was there, like, he had a gunshot wound, and Nina was like, what he saw wasn't real. And she still gets upset with him, like, well, you should be upset just as much as I am. At this point, Jax is like, I can't win with either of you two. But, to some extent, it did seem like Jax was kind of defending Nina, and that I mean, we saw how that went with Maxine. And granted, Carly didn't go nearly as hard on Maxie as she did with Jax. Jax was kind of defending her a little bit. It was just such a mess. But, I mean, let's be honest. Carly didn't really need much to sit there and be mad at Jax because, well, Jax has been acting like a jackass for quite a while. So, I mean, at this point, it's just more power to the core. Now, the question is, towards the end, is Jax going to actually tell, Carly about Nina being in love with, Sonny? Because, one of the things that Jax says as a defense was, oh, Nina thought that, she was doing Sonny a favor because Sonny was more happier and he wasn't into violence and he wasn't in danger and stuff like that. And to some extent, which Carly did not like, Jax was like, you know what? I gotta agree with him. He did seem more lighter and not as bothered and as stressed and stuff like that. He seemed happy tending bar. And Carly, Carly cut him off. Carly was not having that. Man, I mean, I get it. When you're mad, you see red and you don't see logic, and everything else is just thrown out the window. So even if that was all true, she didn't really care. But I'm just wondering, is Jax gonna sit there and say anything about Nina being in love with Sonny? Hell, is Sonny actually gonna sit there and say something about the fact that when he was Mike, he was in love with Carly? Because I've been reading the comment section. And I know a lot of people were like, Sonny is, being kind of a dick for not telling, for not informing Carly about everything that happened at Nixon Falls. Because it's not like once he became Sonny, he forgot all about his adventures as Mike. So why didn't he not actually bring any of that up? And while I was not there getting upset with Jason and Carly for not, disclosing everything about, them actually having feelings for each other, yeah, Sonny's kind of doing the same thing. So, yeah, I guess in that sense, they're all kind of trash to some extent. Surprisingly, Ned and, I was going to say just Ned, I feel like the more soap operas I'm watching, the more names are going to start to bleed into each other, and I'm going to screw up a couple of times, so I want to apologize in advance. But yeah, Ned and Jason actually had a civil conversation. I mean, to some extent, I don't remember them actually being at a time when there was actually each other's throats. But, Ned was concerned about Sonny being back, Jason taking all the risks, and Sonny getting all the rewards. And about Monica, and how she's going to be, worried and stuff like that. Now, the one thing that Jason said that I found interesting was after, Ned showed concern about caring about him and stuff like that, Jason was like, you know what, listen, I'm not a pissed off 20-year-old that's just being reckless, I do, I try, basically it was like he tries more harder to make sure that he comes home because he knows that there are people that do love him and care about him and support him, so he, he's not just being rash and just going in it blind, he does really think a lot more than he used to, which is progress for Jason anyway. But yeah, they actually had a nice civil conversation, so that was cool. Whatever this plan was, it just went it just, so trying not to curse. It just got messed up. Okay? It just got messed up. Because when Esme was at, talking to Sonny and stuff like that, she was like, oh, just that you know, I heard a rumor or whatever that Ava and Nicholas are taking Avery and going off to some island, just to get away and stuff like that. And Sonny was like, I'm sorry, what? This is after a little bit of an awkward conversation when they first started, but Sonny was grateful. So Sonny, at this point, is on the warpath. I mean, he's like, I'm sorry, what? You just gonna take my daughter halfway around the world and you didn't even ask me? You just, really? So he goes off. Now, when that happens, Kevin comes up to Jocelyn because Jocelyn is at the corner or whatever, not really being too, spy or whatever. And, he's like, oh, Jocelyn. At that point, I'm just sitting there just thinking about Jocelyn and just okay, picture a comic book when people are talking and you start using curse words, except for they don't actually write out the curse words, it's just a bunch of, that's what I was sitting there thinking, because at this point, Jocelyn was just like, Esme turned around okay, alright. So, after Kevin leaves, well, pretty much they just both threaten each other. They threaten each other, and Esme walks off. Jocelyn does not seem fazed by that. Esme just threatened her, and she was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I feel bad for Spencer. Yo, that chick is kind of dangerous. I think I get it, you got bodyguards and everything like that, but that chick is kind of dangerous. You might want to be a little more, I get you're your mother's daughter, but the problem, sometimes, whenever she starts acting all bold and stuff like that, being having that, I'm my mother's daughter and crap, I'm like, okay, you might be your mother's daughter, but you don't have her life experiences, okay? And with Carly, she's gotten to a point where she knows when it's time to be tough, and when it's time to be like, you know what, let me just step away from the situation. Jocelyn doesn't have that experience, and I feel like a lot of times that when she talks and stuff like that, and her quote-unquote tough bravado, is you you don't have to experience that your mom had. You might want to just kind of calm it down a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool that that she stands up to herself from Esmir, because I don't want her to be all like, I guess, punking out or whatever. I'm like, you might want to be on your toes with this one, you know. Now it's this big awkward scene when Trina comes in, because at this point, Spencer seems like he's about to confess to Cam about maybe being a stalker or whatever. Talking about he messed up and, he doesn't deserve whatever. So he just seems like he's a little kind of down, and maybe kind of, with the whole Nicholas and trying his hardest to get him back. I'm not going to lie. I still find this whole revenge scheme just, well, stupid, but whatever. But he seems like he's going to confess. And then Trina comes in. This whole plan just got even more messed up. But you know what? I guess I shouldn't be too surprised by a bunch of teenagers that they're coming up with a plan that seemed like they just cooked up in like 5 minutes and said, "You good? You good? Alright, let's go." So now it's this big awkward scene, and they're all talking. And then next thing you know, Sonny comes in. And it's a nice moment between Sonny and Spencer for a little bit. I mean, of course, when everything comes out and, Sonny finds out about Spencer's involvement with Avery, all that, "Oh, you're my favorite uncle, it's good that you're alive, we're cracking jokes," is going to be out the window. It's going to be out the window. But, he's happy to see Sonny. They talk for a little bit, and now Sonny is at this point like, "Yo, where's your dad at? Like, where is he?" So they get into the living room, they talk a little bit more, and then Nicholas comes out, the real Nicholas. He comes out, like, "Hey, what's going on?" And, Spencer's like, "I've been trying to call you for a minute." At this point, they're all face to face, and Sonny is like, "Yeah, I need to talk to your dad. Everyone should just kind of, like, leave now." So, Trina and Cam and Spencer leave the room, and they're all like, "Yo, it got mad hot in there mad fast." Trina and Cam get a text. I'm assuming it's from Jocelyn, just saying, "Hey, by the way, this plan that we had, yeah, it's already jacked up." Sonny acts like, I mean, here's the thing. Sonny came in with 2 bodyguards already. Like, yo, he was ready for the smoke. Okay, so when he got Nicholas alone, and Nicholas was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And, they're talking for a little bit. And Sonny practically like, "Yo, you ain't going nowhere." So he steps up to him, and you got the 2 bodyguards just like right behind him. Now Nicholas is like, "Yo, what's going on, B? Why your man so close up on me?" So yeah, we are getting Sonny back, and I got some thoughts about that towards the end of this review. Now Ava goes to see Kevin. This is after he finished talking to Laura. I guess I was gonna call her Laura, right? Jeannie Francis is probably having a great time being offset. But after his talk with her, he talks to Ava. And Ava pretty much is like, "I need you to make me a promise. I need you to sit there and make sure that you're looking out for Nicholas. Because, I don't want him going all dark and doing, like, anything else stupid." Just to kind of sit there and make sure that, Kevin's sitting there looking out for Nicholas. And then there's a scene where Ava says goodbye. She comes to talk to Alexis. They chit-chat for a little bit about her leaving. And then before she goes, she walks up to Ryan and, well, the usual, makes a bunch of threats and everything like that. If when I come back and I find out who's going on, I'm going to sit there and make you pay. And, the usual classic Ava is threatening Ryan at this point. The sad thing is that I felt like this plan would have worked, but there was a lot of outside forces though. Esmere going up to Sunny and telling Sunny that Nicholas and Ava are leaving, having Sunny go back to Nicholas, and Nicholas being like, "What are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere." Like, who said that? So this whole plan, it wasn't a bad plan. I'm not gonna lie. What was their end game? I mean, we saw where it was going a little bit, but what was their end game? Like, did they actually have, like, I don't know, recorders or anything like that? Like, the sad thing is I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm sitting there saying, like, their plan wasn't bad and it seemed like it was gonna work, but, like, to be honest, they never really actually said what their plan was. So we're kind of like going through this journey a little bit, and then it messes up, obviously. But it's like, well, could it have went any differently? Well, I guess I would have. There's no way to tell seeing how they didn't really tell us what their plan was. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's pretty much about it. I feel, well, like always, and like all my reviews now, I always feel like I'm leaving something out. I guess whatever it is, it might have been like minute or major. Like, I did leave out the whole Liesel, taking a knife to Victor's neck, and that was actually kind of major. So I was reading the comments and stuff like that, and about Sunny, about Maurice not liking, he doesn't like Sunny, and the stories and everything like that, like, where it goes is, like, very dark, and, in real life, he has bipolar and stuff like that, and that's just a lot. And, I was thinking about this at work today, as far as, like, a lot of people are sitting there looking at Sunny, or looking at Maurice playing Sunny, and they're noticing that, like, his energy just isn't the same. Like, maybe his heart isn't in it anymore. I mean, the guy has been playing Sunny for years. Over 10 years. I think, like, it was like over 20 years, maybe? I'm not too sure. He's been playing Sunny for a while. And he doesn't even like the character anymore. I don't know if he ever really did like the character. And so, while I was at work, I was sitting there thinking, like, you know what? Maybe they could sit there and, like, because somebody was sitting there writing, like, somebody was in the comment section was writing, like, this is, like, Sunny's, like, exit, And I'm sitting there thinking, like, alright, maybe they could sit there and recast him. Now, I'm not a fan of recasting for just a lot of reasons. And with Sunny, the thing about Maurice is that he plays Sunny to a T. I feel like at this point he can pretty much just improvise Sunny's lines. This guy has been playing this character for so much, and I feel like in a lot of ways, like, Sunny's character and Maurice Benard's character aren't really that different. He's been playing him to a T. He knows, like, when to laugh, and, like, it's hard to sit there and describe it, but he plays Sunny to a T. And to have anyone else sit there and try to step into that role is an extremely tall order. And as a Sunny fan, I wouldn't want him to go. As a person who I know don't like the character and probably doesn't like him playing him anymore, the sad thing is I'm going to sit there and say something that I don't like saying, but as a reviewer, I feel like I kind of have to say it. In a lot of ways, maybe Sunny's character should have, like, ended with the whole Nixon Falls thing. Like, when he went over that bridge, maybe his character should have ended. Because, again, the writers and everything like that are putting Maurice Benard's character in these very dark places. And for a person who deals with mental health issues, that's clearly not good. The energy of this character, the way he's playing Sunny, isn't really the same for a lot of people that's noticing it, and maybe his character should have just left, like, you know, when he went over the bridge. Now, I never thought in a million years I would actually say that, but looking at this whole, you know what I'm saying, like, looking at the time he's been back, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? And with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. I know this came out a little bit kind of late. And I also want to appreciate people still watching, because now I'm doing like all 4, and it's just, you know, somebody was saying like it's a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. But it's also a labor of love, because I love talking about soap operas. I love watching soap operas. And so this is just a dream job, and to sit there and be able to sit there and talk about it and hear other people talk about it and like reading the comments and stuff like that, it's amazing. And I think what I'm basically trying to say is I want to thank everyone for watching, for your patience, for your support, your understanding, and just everything in general, you know, giving me information about characters and stuff like that. I just want to say thank you. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I'll see you in the next video.